Niagara Falls is a Canadian city on the western bank of the Niagara River in the Golden Horseshoe region of southern Ontario, with a population of 82,997 at the 2011 census. The municipality was incorporated on June 12, 1903. Across the Niagara River is Niagara Falls, New York. The city is dominated by the Niagara Falls, a world-famous set of three large waterfalls on the Niagara River. Both the American and Horseshoe Falls can be best seen from the Canadian side of the river, so the city is one of the major tourist attractions of the world. The natural spectacle attracts millions of tourists yearly. This area, which stretches along the Niagara Parkway and Tourist Promenade, is particularly concentrated at the brink of the falls. Apart from the natural attractions along the river, it includes observation towers, high-rise hotels, souvenir shops, casinos and theaters, mostly with colorful neon billboards and advertisements, and sufficient parking to accommodate visitors. Further to the north or south, golf courses are operated alongside historic sites from the War of 1812. History: this area was long part of the Iroquois Confederacy territory, 5 powerful First Nations mostly along the southern edge of the Great Lakes. The Mohawk, Oneida, Onondaga, naɪʻɛɡrə and Seneca were based largely in present-day New York, ranging from east near the Hudson River, to western areas of Seneca Lake and along Ontario and other Great Lakes. The Niagara Falls area has had some European settlements since the 17th century. Louis Hennepin, a French priest and missionary, is regarded as the first European to visit the area in the 1670s. French colonists settled mostly in Lower Canada, beginning near the Atlantic, and in Quebec and Montreal. Increased settlement in this area took place during and after the American Revolutionary War, when the British Crown made land grants to Loyalists to help them resettle in Upper Canada and provide some compensation for their losses after the United States became independent. Loyalist Robert Land received 200 acres and was one of the first people of European descent to settle in the Niagara region. He moved to nearby Hamilton 3 years later due to the relentless noise of falls. Tourism started in the early 19th century and has been a vital part of the local economy since that time. The falls became known as a natural wonder, in part to their being featured in paintings by prominent American artists of the 19th century such as Albert Bierstadt. Such works were reproduced as lithographs, becoming widely distributed. In addition, Niagara Falls markets itself as a honeymoon destination. It is the self-proclaimed honeymoon capital of the world. In 1856, the town of Clifton was incorporated. The name of the town was changed to Niagara Falls in 1881. In 1882, the community of Drummondville was incorporated as the village of Niagara Falls. The village was referred to as Niagara Falls South to differentiate it from the town. In 1904, the town and village amalgamated to form the city of Niagara Falls. In 1882, Irish author Oscar Wilde visited Niagara Falls after lecturing in Buffalo, New York, during a lecture tour of North America. He stayed at the Prospect House. An internment camp was set up at the Armory in Niagara Falls from December 1914 to August 1918. In 1953, the American actress Marilyn Monroe filmed Niagara here. This was a major event for the city. In 1962, the city amalgamated with the surrounding Stamford Township, resulting in a doubling of population. With the creation of a Niagara regional government in 1970, the city absorbed the village of Chippewa, Willoughby Township and part of Crowland Township, creating the present-day municipal boundaries. The city's official historian is Sherman Zavitz, who gives regular radio broadcasts on many aspects of Niagara's history. Geography: Niagara Falls is approximately 130 km by road from Ontario's capital of Toronto, which is located across Lake Ontario to the north. The area of the Niagara region is approximately 1,800 km2. Topography: the city is built along the Niagara Falls waterfalls and the Niagara Gorge on the Niagara River, which flows from Lake Erie to Lake Ontario. Climate: the city of Niagara Falls has a humid continental climate which is moderated to an extent in all seasons by proximity to water bodies. Winters are cold, with a January high of a 1.0 degrees Celsius and a low of a 7.9 degrees Celsius. However, temperatures above 0 degrees Celsius are common during winter. The average annual snowfall is 162 centimeters, in which it can receive lake-effect snow from both Lakes Erie and Ontario. Summers are warm to hot, with a July high of 27.2 degrees Celsius and a low of 16.7 degrees Celsius. The average annual precipitation is 970.2 millimeters, which is relatively evenly distributed throughout the year. Communities and neighborhoods. Niagara Falls has 11 communities and 67 neighborhoods. Demographics. In 2011, the population of Niagara Falls was 81,300 persons, while the metropolitan area enumerated 422,805 people. The population of Niagara Falls is older than Canada in general in terms of age structure. Youths under 18 years of age number 19.3%. Some 7,715 inhabitants describe themselves as visible minorities, with the majority of those being Black, Chinese, Filipino and South Asian people. 83.97% of Niagara Falls city residents self-identified with Christian denominations. The largest denominations consist of Catholic, Protestant, and 5.18% other Christian, mostly Eastern Orthodox. 14.10% claimed no religious affiliation, while other religions including Jewish, Buddhist, Hindu, and Muslim accounted for the rest. Economy. With a plentiful and inexpensive source of hydroelectric power via the waterfalls, many electrochemical and electrometallurgical industries located there in the early to mid-20th century. Industry began moving out of the city in the 1970s and 80s because of economic recession and increasing global competition in the manufacturing sector. Tourism increasingly became the city's most important source of revenue. Generally speaking, Niagara Falls, Ontario is a more popular destination than Niagara Falls, New York, in part due to the better view of the falls from the Canadian side of the river. In the 20th century, there was a favorable exchange rate when comparing Canadian and U.S. currencies, and Ontario had a greater focus on tourism. Also, Ontario's legal drinking age of 19, in comparison to a legal drinking age of 21 in the U.S., attracts 19 and 20-year-old potential alcohol consumers from across the border. The Ontario government introduced legal gambling to the local economy in the mid-1990s. Casino Niagara precipitated an economic boom in the late 1990s as numerous luxury hotels and tourist attractions were built, and a second casino, Niagara Falls View, opened in 2004. Both were able to attract American tourists due in part to the comparatively less expensive Canadian dollar, and despite the opening of the Seneca Niagara Casino on the American side. When the Canadian and U.S. currencies had moved closer to parity in the 2000s, Niagara Falls, Ontario continued to be a popular destination for Americans. Its tourist areas had many attractions and a vibrancy, while Niagara Falls, New York languished in a prolonged economic downturn. In 2004, several tourist establishments in Niagara Falls began adding a 3% marketing fee to bills. The collected money is untraceable, and there are no controls over how each establishment spends it. The Ontario government concerned that tourists could be misled into believing the fees were endorsed by the government warned hotels and restaurants in 2008 not to claim the fee if it was not being remitted to a legitimate non-profit agency that promotes tourism. The practice continues, and takes in an estimated $15 million per year from tourists unaware the fee is voluntary and can be removed from their bill. Recent development has been mostly centered on the Clifton Hill and Falls View areas. The Niagara Falls downtown is undergoing a major revitalization. The city is encouraging redevelopment of this area as an arts and culture district. The downtown was a major center for local commerce and nightlife up until the 1970s, when the development of the Niagara Square shopping center began to draw away crowds and retailers. Since 2006, historic Niagara has brought art galleries, boutiques, café copywriters and bistros to the street. Attractions include renovation of the Seneca Theatre. On October 3, 2012, The mayor of Niagara Falls officially opened the new Queen Street Downtown Park featuring a children's playground complete with soft artificial turf, benches, seating, landscaping and the water molecule sculpture, created by artist Derek Costello. Attractions. The Niagara Falls, Ontario Tourist District is mainly centered around the waterfalls. Much of the land adjoining the river is parkland under the jurisdiction of the Niagara Parks Commission. Many attractions based on the local natural environment have been created. The city of Niagara Falls has a number of additional attractions in close proximity but not related to the natural features, including casinos and entertainment complexes. One new attraction, located in the Table Rock Center at the brink of the Horseshoe Falls, is called Niagara's Fury and is a representation of how the falls were created. The attraction creates a simulated ice age environment where the visitor is able to feel rain and snow fall, as well as experience a rapid temperature drop. The Niagara Peninsula is also a significant wine-growing area, with winery tours and festivals becoming a significant area of growth in the local economy. The Canadian side of Niagara Falls has more attractions. Falls observation-related attractions, Niagara Hornblower Cruises, Journey Behind the Falls, Skull Tower Observation Deck, weekly fireworks over Niagara Falls, nightly illumination of Niagara Falls, National Helicopters, Niagara Helicopters, Niagara Sky Wheel, Queen Street Arts and Culture District, Niagara River and Parkway attractions, Niagara Botanical Gardens, Floral Clock, Bird Kingdom, Spanish Era Car over the Niagara River Whirlpool, White Water Walk at the Niagara River Rapids, Winter Festival of Lights, Niagara Parks Butterfly Conservatory, Niagara Heritage Trail, Dufferin Islands, Niagara Parks School of Horticulture, Niagara River Recreation Trail, Whirlpool Jet Boat Tours of the Niagara Gorge, numerous parkway golf courses, the Rainbow Carillon, which sounds from the Rainbow Tower, tourist sector entertainment, Clifton Hill, Niagara Falls a Euro tourist promenade featuring a Ripley's Believe It or Not museum, arcades, 5 haunted houses, 4 wax museums including a Louis de Swords wax works, and themed restaurants including the Hard Rock Cafe and Planet Hollywood. Marine Land a Euro aquatic theme park, casinos a Euro Casino Niagara and Niagara Falls View Casino Resort, major theme restaurants including Planet Hollywood, Rainforest Cafe and the Hard Rock Cafe. Copyright, IMAX Theatre and Daredevil Museum, Greg Fruin Theatre/Las Vegas-style magic show. Skull Tower, revolving dining towering 774 feet above Niagara Gorge. Falls View Tourist Area, Falls View Indoor Water Park, MGM Studios Plaza, Queen Street Arts and Culture District, Conica Minolta Tower Center, the area's second tower, sports, the Niagara Stars of the defunct Canadian Baseball League played in Welland, Ontario and the Niagara Ice Dogs play in St. Catharines, Ontario. Government, Niagara Falls City Council consists of 8 councillors and a mayor. City elections take place every 4 years with the last election held on October 25, 2010. Council is responsible for policy and decision-making, monitoring the operation and performance of the city, analyzing and approving budgets and determining spending priorities. Due to regulations put forward by the Municipal Elections Act 2001, elections are held on the 4th Monday in October except for religious holidays or if a member of council or if the mayor resigns. Infrastructure, transportation, highways. Niagara Falls and Niagara Falls, New York are linked to major highways in Canada and the United States respectively, with the Queen Elizabeth Way acting as a major artery between Toronto and Buffalo. New York Highway 420 connect the Rainbow Bridge to the QEW. The Whirlpool Bridge is located at the end of Bridge Street. The Niagara Parkway is a road operated under the Niagara Parks Commission which connects Niagara-on-the-Lake to Fort Erie via Niagara Falls. Niagara Falls formerly had Kings Highways passing through the city. These included, the original routing of Highway 3, which ended at the Whirlpool Rapids Bridge via River Road Highway 8, which ended at the Whirlpool Rapids Bridge via Bridge Street Highway 20, which ended at the Honeymoon Bridge and later the Rainbow Bridge via Lundy's Lane and Clifton Hill, the Queen Elizabeth Way followed Robert Street and Newman Hill to the Rainbow Bridge, later renamed Highway 420. Regional airports: Buffalo Niagara International Airport in Cheektowaga, New York. Toronto Pearson International Airport in Mississauga, Ontario, the primary international airport. Hamilton John C. Munro International Airport in Mount Hope, Ontario. Niagara Falls International Airport in Niagara Falls, New York. St. Catharines Niagara District Airport in Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario. Rail. Via Rail runs out of the Niagara Falls station, and in the summers offers a bike train service on a limited schedule. Amtrak has trains connecting it to Toronto and New York City. As of summer 2009, GO Transit started a pilot project providing weekend and holiday train service from Toronto to Niagara Falls from mid-June to mid-October. GO Train runs seasonally between Toronto Union Station and Niagara Falls. Bus: Coach Canada has daily runs to and from Toronto and Buffalo, New York. GO Transit offers daily bus service between Niagara and Burlington GO Station. Greyhound Canada has daily runs to and from Toronto and Buffalo, New York. Ngabos has daily runs on its route to New York City starting in Toronto. Niagara Transit is the public transit operator in the city. Cabs and shuttle buses: Buffalo Airport Shuttle is a reservation-based shuttle that operates from the Buffalo Airport to and from Niagara Falls, Buffalo, Hamilton, and Toronto. Niagara Livery Service is a taxi limo company in Niagara. 5-0 is a local cab service. A taxi shuttle provides transfers to airports from Buffalo, New York to Niagara Falls, Ontario and Toronto, Ontario. Niagara Falls Taxi is a local taxi service from Buffalo, New York and Toronto, Ontario airports back to Niagara. Elite Taxi is a local taxi service that provides regular and wheelchair-accessible taxi service to and from Niagara Falls, ON. Specialists in airport transfers. Education: Niagara Falls has one post-secondary institution in the city and another in the Niagara region. Niagara is served by the District School Board of Niagara and the Niagara Catholic District School Board, which operate elementary and secondary schools in the region. There are also numerous private institutions offer alternatives to the traditional education systems. Post-secondary: in the Niagara region, Brock University in St. Catharines, in the city of Niagara Falls. Niagara College based in Welland, also has campuses in Niagara Falls, Niagara-on-the-Lake and St. Catharines. High schools: St. Michael Catholic High School, Wesleyan Secondary School, Stamford Collegiate, A.N. Meyer Secondary School, St. Paul Catholic High School. Library: Niagara Falls is also served by a growing library system composed of 4 branches, with the main branch located in the downtown area. It is visited by over 10,000 people weekly. An extensive online database of photographs and artwork is maintained at Historic Niagara Digital Collections. Media: Niagara Falls is served by 2 main local newspapers, 3 radio stations and a community television channel. All other media is regionally based, as well, from Hamilton and Toronto. Newspapers: local newspapers are, Niagara Falls Review, Niagara This Week. St. Catharines Standard. Due to its proximity to Hamilton and Toronto, local residents have access to the papers like the Hamilton Spectator, the Toronto Star, and the Toronto Sun. Radio: 97.7 Fathoms, CHTZ-FM, 97.7 HTZ-FM. Mainstream Rock, 101.1 Fathoms, CFLZ-FM, Z101CHR, 105.1 Fathoms, CJED-FM, 105.1 ED-FM. Adult Hits: the area is otherwise served by stations from Toronto, Hamilton and Buffalo. Television: Cogeco is the local cable television franchise serving Niagara Falls. The system carries most major channels from Toronto and Buffalo, as well as Cogeco, a community channel serving Niagara Falls. CHCHDT from Hamilton, Ontario also serves the Niagara region. Television stations from Toronto and Buffalo are also widely available. Officially, Niagara Falls is part of the Toronto television market, even though it is directly across the Niagara River from its American twin city, which is part of the Buffalo market. Notable people. References. Further reading, Marr, Alice. Industrial Ruination, Community, and Place, Landscapes and Legacies of Urban Decline 240 pages. Comparative Study of Urban and Industrial Decline in Niagara Falls, Newcastle upon Tyne, Britain, and Ivanovo, Russia. External links, City of Niagara Falls, Chisholm, Hugh, ed. Niagara Falls, Ontario. Encyclopædia Britannica. Cambridge University Press. Niagara Falls, Ontario Travel Guide from Wiki Voyage.